Hello and welcome to SaltWire today for Monday, April 17th. I'm your host, Kate Walker. One man has been charged in an incident involving a heavy police presence surrounding a home in Dartmouth that we first told you about on Friday. On April 14th, around 10:30 in the morning, police were called to a disturbance at an apartment on Rolika Drive in Dartmouth. Police say today that a man with a knife assaulted two people, then fled in a vehicle. Police found the vehicle in the 100 block of Slater Street shortly after and surrounded this home. Officers could be seen flying a drone inside and entering the apartment looking for the suspect, but he was never found. Today, police say while the suspect wasn't found in the first search, officers found him the second time. 27-year-old Tyler Charles Boland was scheduled to appear in Dartmouth Provincial Court today to face charges of aggravated assault, assault with a weapon ×2, possession of a weapon dangerous to the public peace, operation of a conveyance while prohibited, and failing to comply with conditions of a release order. The province has released its monthly COVID-19 summary for March 2023. There were a total of 1,268 PCR positive results, 69 hospitalizations, and 13 deaths from COVID-19 during the month of March. The numbers of PCR positive results, hospitalizations, and deaths decreased in March compared to February 2023. The summary reveals Nova Scotians who were unvaccinated or who had not completed their primary series were hospitalized and died at 2 times the rate as those who received a booster within 168 days. The mandatory vaccination policy for hospital staff remains in place across Nova Scotia. One Ukrainian couple that came to Nova Scotia in June 2022 have been inspired by Terry Fox, so much so they've decided to cycle across Canada to raise money for charity. They call their journey United for Ukraine. Their nearly 6,700-kilometer trek will take off at Queensmark in Halifax and end in Victoria, BC. They want to reach every major Canadian city and even get some FaceTime with the Prime Minister.
I studied English and we just look some video about Terry Fox. And then I thought it will be awesome if I will do that, like somewhere in the future, you know. And then when we came in Canada, we see how people like do that right now. Some people like just for fun, you know. And we thought like we can do this for Ukraine. We can like make
funds for soldiers, for animals.
The couple has been training for this trip for 6 months with help from their host family and Long Alley Bicycles on Quinpool Road, who donated 2 bikes free of charge. The charities they're raising money for will be Unbroken, a prominent Ukrainian charity that provides life-saving medical attention to those in need. They also will be donating to Souls Harbor Rescue Mission, a Halifax-based charity which helps to fight against homelessness, poverty, and addiction.
The main goals is to raise funds for military hospital, medical equipment, and prosthetics. It's the main. We want to do that. And then help children who have lost their parents as a result of the war, and help to wild and domestic animals.
They were initially going to leave on April 12th, but changed their date so that they can promote their journey even more. The new date has yet to be announced, but the couple urges those who are interested to follow their social media along at @DTA_forever. If you've ever taken a drive through a rural Nova Scotian community, you may have noticed a handful of abandoned homes. Whether it's a tiny shack or an entire farmhouse, they're hard to miss across the countryside. To one Musquodoboit man, the abandoned houses are more than just decaying wood and tile. They're an inspiration behind his latest art project. SaltWire intern Matthew Hebert has his story.
I just take the scraps and turn them into stuff.
John Eaton has been working with miniature models for as long as he can remember. Miniature cars, miniature people, and most recently, miniature abandoned homes that him and his wife have visited across the province.
I love the textures, viscerally, I like the look and feel of it all, and then I like to find out the history of it after the fact. But I never go into it saying, oh, I'm going to make a model, I need to go find a house. It's more when I see one that I really like, it inspires me.
Traveling with his wife and taking photographs of abandoned locales for over 20 years, Eaton's fascination with the abandoned, fused with his love for miniatures, pushed him to start crafting the homes back in 2019. While the models are painstakingly detailed, the materials that Eaton uses to make them might surprise you.
It's all reclaimed junk. It's old foam core poster boards that I salvaged from work. It's Pop-Tarts boxes. It's pieces of sandpaper. It's the top out of a lettuce box from the grocery store. It's literally just whatever's in the recycling the day I sit down to make something.
Eaton has been posting photos of his miniature homes online, and while they haven't quite gone viral, he's been happy with the local response to his designs.
I had one lady message me with the tin can model that I had made, who knew where that was before I even said that it was in Meat Cove. She had messaged me and said, "I know where that is," and she described it. And somebody else, when I posted the most recent one up, somebody said that they just lived down the street from the place that I had made. So exactly, it's kind of fun when people recognize what I've done and see where they are in it.
While for now he builds the miniature houses out of love for his community, Eaton says he's had some people reach out to him for commissions, and he's open to the idea. In Halifax, I'm Matthew Hebert for SaltWire.
It's time now for a glimpse of today's Thinking Out Loud with Sheldon McLeod. Today, Sheldon is speaking with author A.J. Somerset about the politics of gun control in Canada.
Are we having a responsible conversation about responsible ownership in this country?
Largely, we're not. I think that the conversation on firearms in this country in terms of politics has largely devolved into a lot of sloganeering, where people are shouting their preferred slogans from each side and throwing things back and forth. So we hear things, from the gun owning side, like, we are not the problem, the government's soft on crime. This is just sloganeering, and it's not a serious attempt to address any problem. It refuses to acknowledge that any problem can exist. And then on the other side, we see a lot of stuff that people just basically say, well, I think we should ban things. I think we should ban everything. I don't see why anybody should own a gun. There's no legitimate reason to own a firearm in this country. That kind of talk. So we're not able to sit down and have a really serious conversation about things that come up that are problems that we discover that could be addressed. Like, well, what can we do about transfer of firearms from estates, for example? What can we do there that would be practical? We can't have that conversation because it just gets drowned out.
And for Sheldon's full conversation, head to the opinion section of saltwire.com. Time now for the Atlantic Sports Wire, presented by Scott Squires.
Thanks, Kate. Here's part 2 of my conversation with Mark Forward. Mark is the head coach for the Halifax Hornets, the defending champions of the Maritime Women's Basketball Association. The league tips off in a couple of weeks, and recently the Hornets held some tryouts. What are the players looking like, and do you have a roster starting to shape up, even though preseason and regular season still a few weeks away?
We had a pretty good turnout. We had 16 come out to the tryouts, and we had a couple players that have been invited, but they had been away. So we'll get a peek at them on our last tryout next Tuesday. Great energy in the gym. We have 8 back from our championship team last year, and some individuals that showed up this year that weren't on our team last year will bring some great energy to our team, and some youth, and also some just some excitement for them to be part of the league for the first time.
The full Atlantic Sports Wire chat with Coach Mark Forward is available at the video tab on saltwire.com and also on our SaltWire YouTube channel. In Halifax, I'm Scott Squires for the Atlantic Sports Wire.
Thank you, Scott. On to weather now. To see what's coming up in the forecast, we're going to check in now with our weather specialist, Alistair Alders.
Thanks, Kate. Well, it certainly wasn't as bright out here today compared to when we spoke on Friday. And we do have a bit of unsettled weather in the forecast tonight and for part of tomorrow. So this evening it will be cloudy. We'll have a chance of showers and drizzle. The temperature will be near 4 degrees. And tomorrow morning, starting the day near 6 degrees with periods of rain and drizzle. East-southeast winds 20 to 40 kilometers per hour, at times gusting up to 50, especially along the coast. Now in the afternoon, the rain does taper off and we will start to see the clouds clear out. So a bit of late day sunshine in the forecast and a high of 10 degrees with winds over to the south-southwest 10 to 20 kilometers per hour. Now, really, the rest of the week isn't looking too bad. Fair weather in the forecast thanks to high pressure to our south. Now, could see a few isolated showers on Wednesday and Thursday as the trough of low pressure lingers, but overall pretty nice. We do need this bit of rain given the late season snowpack that hasn't been present and also how dry it was last week. Now, temperature-wise, still will be above normal this week. We'll see temperatures in the teens with this fair weather expected to stick around into the upcoming weekend. Kate.
Thank you, Alistair. That's all for now. For more extended video and full online articles, stay tuned to saltwire.com. And you can find us on social media. I'm your host, Kate Walker. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.